your seats. Our session is about to begin.
Welcome back. It is that time of the day. You've had a huge day. How have we gone so far? 170 Baroccas required. How have we gone so far? Okay. Forget the manual for the moment. You've done enough manual work. You can even close the document right now. Have your notepads ready. And when you look at a real estate career, lots of people have a good year, a good month, a good week. But to do it consistently for over 15 years, moving towards 20 years, is amazing. And for those of you that have read the book, The Matt Steinwede System, or listened to the audio, that'll be interesting. Hands up if you listened to the Matt Steinwede audio system. Very good. Hands up if you watched the blogs. Saw him at Eric. Very good. So, at least all of you have seen him. Hands up if you've never seen Matt speak before. Wow. Okay, is this little guy that... no, he's not. That's got a great story. I'm going to hand over and leave it to him straight away. Please welcome to the stage, Matt Steinwede.
I noticed Steve didn't put his hand up at all then. Don't you watch videos? Yeah, come on. I wasn't even meant to be here today, but one of the guys from my office let Lee down, so I said I'll come up and help out. So I think we've got half an hour, 45 minutes, just to chat, talk about real estate and stuff. So I won't go on about my story too much. I know a lot of people in here haven't even seen me speak anywhere. Not that I speak a lot. But I think a lot of the time people maybe like hearing what I've got to say because of my story. I actually used to work for Steve many, many years ago. And just a 2-minute thing on that. So when I was in Sydney, I used to be like an underworld criminal. And then, there's a lot to it, but we were opening a brothel, so I went up to Terrigal. And then I got sent up there to recruit in the nightclub, I guess you'd say. And so I turned up there, so the bikies down in Sydney sent me up to the bikies up in Terrigal to go look for some staff in there. And I met a guy called Dino, who's my best friend today, and another girl, Karina. It was her 18th birthday. When I saw Karina, I was like, whoa, she's amazing. And I wanted to recruit her for me, not the brothel, so I asked for her number. And she gave me her number. I went back to Sydney and everything fell apart in a big way. In that whole underworld scene does. Anyway, so I rang Dino, who I only met that night. It was probably 6 months after that, and I said, can you come pick me up? And I said, I'm either going to be dead or in jail any day, so can you come grab me? So I literally left with the clothes I was wearing, a huge drug habit, and I was just a raving steroid lunatic, basically. So he put me out the back of his parents' house, and I lived there for 9 months. I was homeless by then, living in an abandoned workshop, and I was in a bit of a drug psychosis for a long time. And I thought to myself, that a lot of other things happened, but I thought to myself, what should I do? And I rang an ex-girlfriend in Sydney, her name's Lisa. And I said, Lisa, I'm in a bit of trouble. She's like, yeah, you're in lots of trouble. So she said, you've left a big mess down here. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't know how I'm going to sort it out. You sort of can't sort it out a lot of the time for whatever reason. And I said, what am I going to do? And she said, why don't you get into real estate? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. Now, looking back, I think she thought real estate agents were all dodgy or criminals. And I'd be the perfect fit. So, anyway, I grabbed the yellow pages, rang all the offices. I had no idea what real estate was. And this lady gave me a go from the home office. And fast forward a bit. But when I got into real estate, I rang Dino and I said, mate, this is all right. She just said go off and door knock. And I just door knocked every day, all day. asking people if they want to sell their house, and then I'd find a lead, and then I'd run all the way back because I didn't have a car, so I'd have to run from suburb to suburb. And I rang him and said, I'm going to be the best in Australia at this thing. And this is like maybe 6 months or a few months after I started. So I progressed through things a bit. I lived in the lady's caravan on her property for a while. And then I ended up renting a room off Karina's family friend, who was this old lady. And I get home one night, I caught the bus home, and I get a call at Tina's house, and it was Ray, who owns the fish and chip shop at Steinwede, who was an ex-heroin dealer, and we used to talk all the time about things. And anyway, he rings me up and goes, "Hey Matt, how you going?" And I'm like, "Who's this?" Because no one knew where I was. He goes, "That's Ray from the fish and chip shop." You know when they're on methadone and they just sound like they're on methadone? He's like, I'm like, "What do you want?" And he's like, "Hey, I'm just letting you know you've just been on Australia's Most Wanted." And I'm like, "Oh, bugger." So, literally 5 minutes after that, Karina's dad turns up at the door, like knocking, and he's like bent over, like huffing and puffing, because he ran down from their house to Tina's. And their whole family, they're all Mormons, they were all sitting around the TV, all like, you know, Sound of Music type thing. And they're all sitting around the TV, 6 kids, parents, and I pop up on that show. And he goes, "We've got to talk." And I said, "Yeah, we need to talk." But they knew some stuff, but not a lot. So I went straight back to Sydney, handed myself in. It was all commotion. I went to court. Tina came and testified. Karina's mum came and testified and told a few stories that, you know, I'd helped them out with. Anyway, the judge said to me, she said, "You should be going to jail for quite a few years." But she said, "I see some good in you, and I'm going to give you a second chance." So I had to do community service for a long time, and it took me 8 years to pay all the fines back. But from that moment, I was like, I'm going to turn my life around, and I'm going to get real good at this thing. And I think that's why that's my first slide. You know, I've had a lot of stuff happen between then and now. I had, you know, contracts taken out in my life. I've had federal police come in, pull me out of the office and question me over murders and all sorts of things. But things just aren't easy in real estate and in life. You know, things don't always go the way that you want them to. But you do need a why. You definitely need a why. And I know there's a lot of motivational speakers out there that talk about this stuff, and they, you know, what's your why and what's the blah blah, whatever. But you do need that thing that's going to get you out of bed, like you do. And if I look back on my career, it's always been like one thing, not a lot. So I probably want to ask you, like, the market will change at some point. You know, that's not fun when the market goes down, especially in like a coastal town like ours. Steve's been doing it for like 30, 40 years or something. And it's like working through all these things. It's a mind-bending exercise. And then you've got your personal life as well. Kids, divorce, finance, all of this stuff. But I think people leave this business because they're not anchored to that one thing. You're going to lose listings. It's just the way that it is. You know, deals are going to fall over, people are going to be not happy with you. Like, it's just how it is. So I really want to ask you, and I'm glad Lee said put your workbooks away, because nothing in this thing is about workbooks. It's probably about your heart and your commitment, and what is that why for you? I think it's the number one reason you'll succeed at this. So many people call me and text me, and I try and answer everybody. They're like, this is not working, that's not working. Just like, get over it. You know, just get over it. You put yourself there. Just work out what you really, really, really want and create a movie in your mind about it and make that your world. Like, I achieved number one in McGrath this year. It took me 15 years. That's a long time. You know, that's a long time. So it's probably like, well, I've got a kid older than that, like just a bit older than that. So for his whole life, I've been working towards number one in McGrath. Why? Just so I can tick the box. It's not that I go, yeah, I'm amazing or anything. It's just, for me, that was important. And I think you've got to keep things really simple, like so simple. So I want to ask, what is it for you? You're going to have competitors, you're going to have low-cost agents, you're going to have the Uber of real estate, whatever that is, it's all going to come. All of it's going to come. But what is that thing? When the market was falling at such a rapid rate, it was scary. You know, we had a business, we were young-ish, and your sales halve and then quarter and then less. You got mortgages and you got stuff. You know, it's easy to go, oh, forget it. Like I just had a competitor come to my office today and he's having a really tough time. And he's just like, can I come see you? And just sit and talk. But he doesn't have that thing. I can see it. You know? Like, this is a competitive business. Like, really competitive. And we get so caught up on whinging about commissions and marketing and all these things. You know, just get better than them. That's sort of your job. Just get better than them. That's like saying I'm a surgeon, but I'm just all right at it. Like, who's going to use you? You know? But I really don't want you to gloss over that, just that one thing. How old are you? 43, look at that, 30. What anti-aging do you use? Can you get rid of these lines? Well, younger people, you know, you've got all this time. You can do amazing things in 10 years, so 53, you know. It's like, you can do amazing things in 10 years. Like amazing, life-changing, like smash it out of the park. But you have to be so all in. And your hunger level, that fire, I love seeing hungry people. I love it because you can't train that. They just want something so much, like so much. It's got some magic about it. So if you're sitting in this room and you're new, please take note. You can beat experienced competition through hunger and care. Hunger and care. They're your tools. A sparkle and a smile. But if you're having a tough time, I really want to measure your fire. Because it might have gone out a bit. And stress and exterior stuff and debt, which I'm going to talk about, can do that. It can do that. It can cloud your vision. It definitely can. So what do you want? How hungry are you? I'm going to tell a quick story. You might have heard it before, just about the lemon. But look, I just came here today. I didn't have any talk prepared, nothing. I just Lee's like, mate, get up here. And I'm like, okay. You know, relationships, friendship, all that sort of stuff goes a long way. I'd do anything for these guys. So the lemon, you might have heard it before, but competitors here, we compete all the time, Steve and I. You might start sending lemons out. So about 25 years ago, I might have been actually working for Steve, about 20-something years ago, I was door knocking this house. Number 6 Clevo Road. And I walked up the stairs and, it might have been a few years into it. So walked up the stairs, knocked on the door, little old lady answers, hey. I'm like, hey, do you want to sell your house? She's like, no. I'm like, cool, thanks. And then so I walk back down, and then I'm walking down the stairs, and I go, I really like these types of houses. Like, I live in an old house, and people quite often come to my house and go, wow, I thought you lived in a much better house than this. And I'm like, sorry, disappointed. So I'm walking down the stairs, huge view, great house. I said to myself, I'm going to list that house one day. Definitely going to list it. I love it. Didn't know the area very well. Like, this is in the best street in Mongrel. And off I went. So I stayed in contact with them and prospected and built the area and blah, 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 blah. Over time, I got very friendly with them. And I used to go and see the Hardings. Mr. Harding was like bent over like this, and he used to look like that. I always wondered like how he could see where he was going. And if he ran into, might need a little helmet not to bump into the walls. But he's like, they were like the Wombrel Action Group leaders, and they used to ring me for information all the time and all this sort of stuff. So over time, Mr. Harding died, and then Mrs. Harding died a few years after that. Now this is like 20 years gone by. So I was like, haven't heard from anybody, really stayed in contact with them. It was usually hear from the family or whatnot. It was all shut up, quite a wealthy family. And I used to drive past and like, it sounds like I was obsessed about this one house, but I actually had other houses I was trying to list as well. But I'd drive past and be like, there's no one there, like month after month. So I'd send stuff to the Harding family, nothing. I'm like, wow, okay. So I get a call one day. I sold a house in the street behind called McGee Avenue, which is like the next best street, and I get a call. Hello, Matt. Philip Harding here. I'd just like to know how much this property sold for. You know how like wealthy people, like they just have this, I don't know where they learn it, but they have this like, yes. And I'm like, I don't know if they practice at home in the mirror. I have no idea. I don't even know where they get it from. But it's like, I'm like, yeah, how you going? I said, Philip Harding. Like Harding from Clevo Road. He goes, yes, that's us. We're thinking about selling the family home, and we're just getting a feel for the market and just like to know how much this property sold for. And I'm like, you bloody kidding me? Really? I said, 1.25 million. I said, what are you doing? Like, are you selling the house? And I was like, trying not to be too excited. I'm like, did you want me to pop over and give you some advice? And I'd probably sound like a nervous teenager on their first date, but I'm like, hey, I can definitely give you some help. He's like, no, we're all right, we're fine. We're just getting a feel for the market. And I was like, okay, can I give you any other info at all? He's like, well, why don't you just email me some stuff? And I'm like, cool stuff. Fine, I'll send it to you. So I got his email address, went back to the office, sat there, put together this amazing email, sent it to him, and then nothing. 2 weeks went by, didn't hear a thing. And I'm like, just, you know when you're like constantly thinking about something and you're a bit distracted, and I'm like, So I went into another house 3 doors down, and halfway through the market opinion, the owners go, oh, by the way, we saw your competitor, Tim Andrews, walk out of the Harding's house a couple of days ago. And I'm like, you're joking. Like Tim and I, Steve, me, Tim, all compete against each other. You don't want to vomit when they list stuff, then, and I do vomit sometimes, Steve, when you list stuff, but it's like, you just want to go back home and start the day all over again. And I'm thinking, no way, not a hope. You can't let that bulldozer in this house. He'll just bloody whatever. And all this stuff's going through my head. I'm like, oh, okay, you know when you're smiling and you're just like, I just want to get out of the house. I'm like, yeah. And I got straight in the car. I ring Philip. Philip, it's Matt from Regard. Oh, he's totally forgotten who I am. And I'm like, oh, remember the guy that emailed you some stuff? And did you get my email? He's like, oh, yes, yes, I did actually, yes. Well, it really meant nothing to me. And I'm like, great. I said, where are you? He goes, oh, I'm at the house. I said, can I pop around and just say hi, introduce myself? He said, oh, yeah, okay, all right, well, come on over. So I raced straight around, went in the house. Hey, Philip, how are you? Walking around the house. He goes, look, Matt, I've got to tell you. My brother, the doctor, he's decided that he'll give the house to another agent. Now, you've got to understand, this is 20-something years of work. Okay? And I'm like, really? Who? And he told me who it was. This is some random agent that's like not even from our area almost. I said, why? He said, well, you know, he said he's a nice guy. Why don't we just give the house to him? I'm like, that's not a reason. I said, really? He goes, yes, well, you know, he is the executor and my sister who's the accountant. They're all accountants, doctors, whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. Is there anything I can do to maybe get involved in this thing? He says, look, you seem like a nice fellow. Why don't you put together a proposal? We have a family meeting in a couple of days. I'll give it to the family, but I think they've made their mind up. I'm like, okay. So I went back to the office and put together like the king of all proposals. Cleared my diary, sat there into the night, done it, delivered it the next morning, gave it to him. He rings me up a day later. He says, Matt, Philip Harding here. I think I need to see you again because there's some things in this proposal that my family aren't going to like very much. Probably the commission, but it's the way it is. I'm like, cool. He goes, come on over. I want to give you a hand. So I said, okay, when do you want me? It's 6 o'clock tonight. I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's daylight saving. So I'm sitting there waiting for the whole day to go, and then I ring him at 5:30, around that. And I said, Philip, just to look efficient, Philip's okay to come over. He goes, oh, Matt, look, I'm not very happy at the moment. I said, okay, well, yeah. He said, look, I'm not really in the mood to see you. I said, oh, okay. He said, look, I've just been to the fish and chip shop to order my dinner. I'm like going, yeah? He's like, they've made my dinner, they've given it to me, and then proceeded to say they have no lemon. I'm like, right, okay, can I come over, sir? He's like, look, I'm not in the best of spirits, but come on over and I'll see you. And I got off the phone, I rang Jimmy, who works with me. I said, mate, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, drop it, go to the supermarket, buy 2 lemons and have it delivered to 6 Clevo Road. Make sure it's before 6 o'clock. I turn up 5 minutes before, and I'm walking up the driveway, and Philip's standing on that balcony, and he goes, that is the best piece of customer service I have ever seen in my life! I rang my brothers and sisters and said, these are the people we need to be doing business with! And I got the listing. But the thing here, the proposal meant nothing to them. The company meant very little to them. The care meant everything to them. So, I want to ask you, like, I think I've been really good at looking for those moments. You know, I'm not the most talented real estate agent, not the smartest, and whatever. It's like, but I've been really great in intuitively finding those moments. We sold the property for $300,000 over reserve, which is awesome. Probably one of the best sales I've ever had, like one of the best things. So I really want to ask you as well, are you looking for that? Are you looking for that? Those times when you can make people say, wow. What is your wow strategy? What is it? You can go in and say, hey, we put you on realestate.com, hey, we do this. So what? Like, really, so what? I don't care about purple bricks and all these things that people are talking about. You want to get paid more, make more people say wow. You want a consistent business, consistently make people say wow. I reckon this business is about lemons. I do. If you're brand new, that's how you beat Stephen Giddos. Working an area is really the key to consistent success in this business. Pick a suburb you like. I'm not going to go into too much training here. But it's like, just get known for something. I zeroed in on Monbrook, the area that I've serviced for all my career. You want people to see you as not McGrath, not Giddos, not LJ Hooker, as Matt. 50% market share. Because real estate agents' businesses go like this all the time. It's just an exhausting place to be. Sell your listings, gone, and then they prospect, you get a couple more, don't prospect, and then they go like this all the time. All the time. If you have a company, you ring China and say, hey, can you send me 500 doors? Yeah, sure. We don't have any stock. We can't do that. But our prospecting every day in a core area is like buying from China. That's what it is. And you buy it 10 years in advance, 20 years in advance. Not get a listing in 3 days. Like, how are you supposed to do that? That's the cream. But first you've got to decide whether you're a career real estate agent. Not trying it out, not hoping it works. That's the difference. Not once in my career have I ever, when I was working for Steve, I had zero, like nothing, like not one thing. I never thought ever in my career, I hope it works out, otherwise I'll do something else. I used to hand deliver letters like that, saying to myself, I will be number one, I will be number one, I will be number one, I will be number one. It might sound dumb. That was my business plan, that's it. You tell yourself the story enough, it's gonna happen. I'm telling you. Wombrel? I used to have agents ring me and say, why am I even bother prospecting Wombrel? They just all want to sell with you. But that's awesome. That's a consistent business. If you want to list 10 a month, it's not all of a sudden you're going to find 10 owners that are going to ring you and go, hey, can you come list my house? It's like you're doing it forward, doing it forward, doing it forward. Because most agents don't achieve saturation to begin with. Quick story about saturation. You have to bother people. You have to bother people till they almost don't want to deal with you anymore. In the beginning. Because they've got to know your name. What's your name? Peter. So you want them to wake up, and I always just think to myself, I want them to think like I'll call Peter, not I'll call LJ Hooker. I want my name to be bigger than that. But I saw this thing happen that if you hassle people enough, they start to really not like you. Like, just leave me alone. But it's that point that they know who you are. Most agents send a few DLs out and sit back and go, I'm not getting any calls. I don't want calls. I want people to remember me. I want people to go, Matt's really active, he's a pain, but I want a hard worker on my property. That's what I want. So they might not like you too much, but they're like, they get you. Quick story, Mr. Greenwald, 64 Old Gosford Road. I used to drop letters off every day by hand, everywhere. And one day I was going up Old Gosford Road and got to Mr. Greenwald's house, and there's no letterbox there. So I'm putting it under the door. I'm like, what's that? Letterbox is gone, so I put him under the door. Anyway, I prospected him one day. I said, hey, Mr. Greenwald, it's Matt from McGrath. He goes, I'm going to murder you! I said, oh, Mr. Greenwald, what's going on? So I'm going to come down there and... He actually said, slit your throat. He goes, I'm going to come down there and slit your throat. I said, really? What's going on? Not having a good day? And he's like, he goes, if you drop one more thing into my house, blah, 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 he's going off. But I actually didn't know that he took his letterbox off because of me. So I put it under his door. Every other morning. Yeah. And he goes, and I said, oh look, I'm really sorry, and I wrote him a card and left it at that. He refers me business these days. But that's like an extreme case, but it's like, that's the tipping point that you need to get to. You've got to do it so much other people can't keep up. There's a stretch that happens. We all talk about, I don't know why, we all talk about writing $1 million or writing $2 million or $3 million. I'm not sure exactly why. I think profit is better than writing figures. I think it's better to write 500,000, have the life that you want, and good profit. That's what I reckon is better. Because you think you get some badge at $1 million that makes you cool, but it's not. It's just more headaches. The higher you go. But if you do want to double your business, we talk about 2xing your business, that's really hard. Like it's really hard when we don't actually have the ability to order stock. So you want to double the amount of stock, double the amount of sales, people to help you, double your business, whoa, what then? But it's like takes a... But if you want to do that, you have to hit saturation. You have to. And then there's some other tools along the way that you can use that will change it from asking to giving. Just have a simple recipe. You bake a cake, there's a simple recipe. You want success in real estate, there's a simple recipe. And just stick to it day after day after day after day after day. I know it sounds simple, but it's true. I'll just talk about one tool. I don't even think it's up there, but the CMA. The CMA is still, I think, the best tool you can use. And I know it's like old, but it's the delivery of the CMA that's the key. So you drop a letter off, you call the people the next day, say, hey, I dropped a letter off. They're like, yeah, did you get it? No. Well, what it is was, blah, blah, blah. And they go, I'm not thinking of selling. And say, well, it's the people that aren't thinking of selling. And it's free, and Mrs. Jones is getting one next door. Can I just leave it at your doorstep? And if you ask twice, they usually say yes. Then you go and take a picture of their house, put it on the front of the report, and drop it off on the third day. And you say, hey, how you going? Matt, there's your report. It's like, let's go. And then go. But once they've seen you, it's different. Once you've given them something and they open it and a picture of their house is on the front, they go, that's pretty cool. People ring me and say, how did you get the picture? And I say, look with the camera. They're like, yeah, they do. And then every 6 months, they get a new one sent to them with a picture. That's nice, blah, 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 blah. It's really difficult to do that over 1,000 homes and do everything else properly. I have never seen any other agent do it. But it's the number one thing that I did. Because once I started giving people these reports and they saw it was a bit different, then I would never have to ask to sell again. I'd ring them just with information. Because I became the agent that was like a consultant. So I'd ring, hey, it's Matt. I never say Matt from McGrath anymore. Hey, it's Matt, how you going? Yeah, good, Matt, what's happening out there? I could give you a list of 500 owners that are all the same. Hey, what's happening out there? What a great thing to do. Instead of like, no, get stuffed, hang up. You have to get to that point. But if you were sitting in here and you're struggling with market share, do that one thing. That one thing. This is pretty much my whole plan. 15 listings and 15 sales every month. Last year we sold 200 properties, me and my team. About 5.1 or something we wrote last year. It was exhausting. But it just keeps building every year. And then it's the management that's the tricky part. But the interesting thing about this is 15, 15, 15 listings, 15 sales. You could ask anyone on my team, what do you want this month? 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15. Because if you talk about it enough, your energy will change. It used to be 5 and 5, then 10 and 10, 15, 15. What you talk about happens. But your expectation has got to match that, and your work ethic as well. And once you hit it once, what happens? You get more confident, see it happen. Then the next one, next one, next one, next one. We're 5 sales short this month. So far. 5 sales. The whole team are like, no, it's going to happen for sure. Their expectation is it will happen minimum. 2 more sales today on the way here. It's going to happen. There's something about that energy that's attractive, that brings it into your world, which I'm going to talk about in a sec. But I want you to, if you could do one thing, it's that. 5 and 5, 6 and 6, 8 and 8, whatever it is for you, start telling yourself that story over and over and over and over and over again. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Anyone know much about law of attraction? Law of attraction, you get what you think about, you become what you feel. You're being guided to your success, whether you believe it or not. It's all I study these days. I don't study real estate at all. I study energy. The competitor that came and saw me the other day, he said, mate, how have you listed every single property I've gone to or today? Every single property. He was down in the dumps. He goes, what is it? I'm like, it's energy. Like, it's energy. When I'm with people, bring them into my world. I look in their eyes and I connect with them on a different level. They feel that. But you have to be that energy source. When you're in a meeting and you're talking to somebody, your energies cross. You can feel it. Women are the best. You're sitting there, man's going, yeah, why? And the women go, I just don't like it. At all. And that's it. Can't tell you why. She can just sense it. Yeah? So this is an emotional guidance scale. Up the top is where things happen. Anyone been on a roll before? Or in the flow? No one? One person? Okay, I hope more. Makes sense. All right. So joy, appreciation, passion, and all this sort of stuff. You just got to put yourself there every day. Down the bottom, fear, insecurity. Who goes to a listing and has already talked themselves out of it before they've gone in? Oh, who else is going there? What other agents? I don't want to know what other agents are going there. I'm going there. The agent said it today that come and saw me. He goes, oh, I hate it when I ask what other agencies seen. They go, oh, Matt from McGrath. He goes, I just want to slide off the chair. And I'm like, well, maybe don't ask. This is about your life too. So down here, if you've met an angry person, maybe give my ex-wife a call. She's like quite angry all the time. She knows it though. I'm not saying anything that's behind her back. I say it to her all the time. What is wrong with you? That's right. They know. But you know, it is what it is. But her life is like that. She'll have car accidents. She'll have wreck stuff. I just watch it. I just go, train wreck. Like that. She rings me and tells me all the time what's going on. I said, just don't ring me. I don't want to know. It's fine. I'm here for you. I don't want to know. You know, the news. Let's go and put a program together of every crap thing ever and put it on a half-hour show and sit there and all get depressed. I just don't get it. I do not get it. Here's why I don't get it. Because you will only ever attract what your energy set point is. And the way to know what it is how you feel. When you're happy, happy people come into your life. Even when you're happy and you meet unhappy people, you just keep being happy. And they bounce off somewhere and chase my ex-wife around. But you need to start the day, controlling the outcome. And you've got to be as steady as you can. Do something that excites you every day. Take care of your health. There's something about mindset and great health. Make time in a busy, I have a really big 6 kids, all these things. Largish business, painful competitors. But all these things, but it's like getting into a ship to get somewhere and just going, oh, that's not going to steer. See where we end up. That's your steering wheel at the top. I could talk about this thing all day. You want to change your life? Change your emotions, change your thoughts. You can feel your energy steady, and steady will come back to you. I'm just not a fan of debt. I don't know anyone that can operate really well under financial pressure. It might be a bit of a motivator. Just live simply. No one cares what car you drive. You might for 5 minutes. And then you've got to pay for the thing. Just live within your means. Because there's something about not chasing the dollars to keep up with life. There's something about it. When it fills up, you can sit with people and they can feel that you don't need this thing, but they'll give it to you. And you're dribbling, trying to get their listing and using all these things and like chasing them like some out of control weirdo. Like people can make decisions. You don't need to chase them so much and like hammer them and so they say yes, because they're going to say no. But when you're like, thanks for today, give me a call if you want to get the thing started. It's really nice to see you. Bye. They're like, I like that person. But they'll remember how you made them feel. They won't remember one thing, sorry Lee, this whole seminar, but they won't remember one thing almost from the listening presentation. Oh, that byway, that was awesome. Let's list with him. I'll list with Blake, because he's a nice guy. You can just tell. He fell off a tractor, rolled out the farm, come into real estate. He's just that trustworthy guy. Centered energy. When you have peace of mind, your world becomes peaceful. It's a nice space to be. 2 more things and I'm done. Brand is important. Brand is really important. Feels like Prada. Jimmy Choo. I love handbags, hairstyles and girl shoes. I don't know why. I must have been either gay in a past life or a bit feminine today. I'm not exactly sure, but it's like I love helping the girls out at the office with handbags, shoes, and sometimes I even do their hair. So you can see it on one of our video posts. If their hair's not exactly right, I'm like, Leah, you made no effort today. What happened last night? She goes, oh, I was in a bit of a rush. I said, let's get the brush out and do it all again. Okay? Well, I don't know why. I like it. It's just, you know, whatever. They got good branding. But every one of these brands conjures an emotion. And it's powerful. I don't know if it still is, but Apple was the most valuable brand on earth. I think Amazon might be there. I don't know. But it's an apple with a bite out of it. But when you look at it, like I can't understand Samsung. I can't. I look at Samsungs and go, why would you not use Apple? But they would think the opposite. To me, I'll always just buy Apple. Because I'm attracted to that brand. Every day, you're building your brand. You go to Wombrel, everyone knows my brand. I spent years and years and years depositing into that brand. What does yours look like, and what do you want it to be? How old are you? I'll get this right. How old are you? 24. Awesome. So in 20 years' time, okay, Dylan. So in 20 years' time, Dylan, what do you want your brand to be in your marketplace? Do you want to be the guy that concentrates on an area, that provides good service, that's amazing to deal with, how you dress, what you say, how you treat yourself? That's all going to build on that. That's going to contribute to that. I reckon the Matt Steinwede brand is bigger than the company that I work for in our area. Most people know. Someone said to me the other day, your profile is way bigger than the company you work for. Why don't you go out and do your own thing? They've said it so many times. And I'm like, why would I? Why would I? It doesn't matter where you are. I want people to go, I want to use him. There is value in brand. I'm just going to end on this. You can do whatever you want after this seminar. You can get out there and do nothing that Lee said. You can get out there and change your life. The next few years will tell, but it's a constant evolution. It just is. Hernando Cortez was a conqueror in the 1500s, and he had an idea that he wanted to go steal the world's richest treasure from Cuba, the world's biggest army. And he was like, oh, let's go do that. And he said, oh, I'm going to get the best sailors. He took 11 ships, all the best sailors in his country. He said, hey guys, let's go take this treasure. And they're like, oh, that sounds good. And they all got in the boats and off they went. For months they sailed across the world. And then as they got there, they were like, maybe this isn't a great idea. But they didn't speak English. But it was like, maybe this isn't a great idea. And they said, Hernando, we're actually not keen now. So we're not super keen to go fight this army. We thought it was a good idea, but now it's not. And they started to really doubt. And Hernando was like, I can't go to war with these guys doubting. We just won't win. So he asked for all the boats to be pulled up, just out off the sea enough, or out to sea enough that they couldn't be seen. And he sat there for 3 days and just sat. And then at some point he decided to do this thing, and he stood up and he said, everyone in the attack boats. Every man in the attack boats. They said, Hernando, we're really still not keen because we don't think we'll get home to see our families. And he said, in the attack boats. Everyone got in, he pushed off, and he turned around, and he said, burn the boats! They're like, what are you doing? And he said, burn the boats! And he ordered every boat to be burnt, their own. They said, Hernando, what are we going to do now? He said, men, we have no other option but to fight with everything that we have and win, and we'll take their boats home. So they stormed the beach, fought the army, they won, outnumbered 3-1, true story. Some of them died, obviously. Went home. And I think sometimes in life, you've got to make that decision to burn the boats. It doesn't matter where you're at right now. But it does matter about what you do tomorrow. The decision you make today. Like when I rang Dino, clear as day, I'm going to be the best in Australia at this business. That's the day I burn the boats. That's it.